Welcome or welcome back. We are making the Minnie Mouse bows, but in scrunchie form. Here are the materials that we're going to use, and let's get started. I'm going to start with the red felt, and you are just going to fold it in half and then cut it in half. So now you have your two pieces. We're going to lay it one on top of the other. I am going to round it out. Now I went back and looked at one of the photos I took in the park of the Minnie Mouse bow headband, and it just looked like they were maybe slightly curved. Then you are going to get the red sequins and glue it to the red felt. Go slow around the curve, so then that way you don't get too much bunching. You want it to lay very nice, and then any excess that's kind of overlaid on the back side, we will just snip that off, so then that way when we glue the two pieces together, it lays nice and flat. Once the first one is done, then you will do the second one the exact same way. And then you'll put them together, make sure that they look the same and that they match up very well. Then it's time for the dots. Decide how big of the dots you want them to be. And I just used a protractor and used black cardstock and made the circles. And then I cut it out with an X-Acto knife. I grabbed this art line white fabric marker, and I used that to go around the circles on the sequin material and outline it. I really liked this. I just thought that it worked very well. It did not bleed through. It colored exactly where I wanted it to. Where puff paint, I would have been concerned with it bleeding through or coming through if you didn't have a tight enough grip with the template on the sequin material. And the other thing is, okay, if you use that once with the puff paint, you're probably going to have to let it dry or try to wipe it off or something and hope that you don't get it on the other piece that you have to do the same thing with. So this worked out very nicely. I did not have to worry about that. I did not use any puff paint at this point. I thought that's all I was going to use was that, and then I didn't think that the definition on the white was enough. So I will use some white puff paint, and you'll see me do that, but I wanted to go ahead and put the Minnie Mouse bow together first, and I put quite a bit of stuffing in there, and I did the one side and glued it down, as you can see, and then I wanted to push the stuffing more towards the seams then to really get it in there, because if you look at the Minnie Mouse bow in the parks from the headbands that they have, they're fluffy and they're huge. So I wanted to replicate that as much as possible and make my own, except in a scrunchie form. So that's what I did. I wanted to put more stuffing on each side and really leave the middle more open and not so much stuffing, because I want to create that crease and that pretty bow effect. So I didn't really want as much in the middle. Now I did leave the opening of the middle open, as you can see, so then that way I can stick this utensil and push that stuffing to the other side like I did that one side. Then I will go ahead and seal off the center part when I've got the stuffing exactly how I want it on each side. Now I will seal that off. And you do make another strip, you cut another strip of red sequins for the bow seam part in the middle, and you go ahead and put the dots on that one as well. Now you're going to take that material, fold it over and glue, and you want it to be a nice thickness, at least maybe an inch or so thick. And then we're going to take some scrap material to create the bow. That's what I like to do to make it tie. It just is a lot easier to do. It makes it super simple to make the bows. I use this a lot on the other bows that I make for other headbands and scrunchies. And go ahead and check out those other scrunchies and headbands. And we'll be making more, so don't worry. And make sure that it's in the middle, then I go ahead and tie it tight, cut off the excess, and then I take that middle piece and I am going to wrap it around the bow so it covers that and gives it a nice look. And I'm going to tie that piece directly to the scrunchie. So the Minnie Mouse bow will be tied directly to the scrunchie. As you can see in this tutorial, there was absolutely no sewing involved whatsoever. I did buy the scrunchie pre-made, but that's okay. Everything else in this tutorial was completely no sew, which I know that was one of the requests in another video that I had made. Go ahead and pull tight then, and you will want to press and hold for a little bit to make sure that it's solidified, and then you'll just go ahead and cut off the excess, take the hot glue gun, and again, if you don't have enough right there, and then you're just going to push it down. I kind of use the hot glue gun to do that more so it doesn't hurt my fingers. And then I'm going to take the white puff paint and I'm going to go around, and I did add another dot. I felt like there needed to be a few more dots on the bow, so I added that and I colored it in, and you do let it set flat for 4 hours, and you'll want to do both sides. And I thought it looked so good. It looked so much like the ones in the parks. Love them. This is what it looks like on. Thank you so much for watching this Minnie Mouse bow scrunchie tutorial. Click that like button and subscribe.